Best of r/confessions episode 15. Subscribe for edit videos daily. Got held against my will. This was a long time ago and I've never told anyone about it, but it occasionally weighs on my mind. When I was 15ish, this shit for brains dickbag in my school that was older than me, because he was held back, and I believe he was 19/20 then, befriended me because he recently moved into my school district, army brat. From the get-go I realized he was an aggressive shitty person, but somewhat of a good time. I was young, he was older, listened to Danzig, had a Wolf tattoo. Don't judge me for making a sketchy friend. Anyway, fast forward a few months and he thought I was into his girlfriend, a girl in my class that he'd been dating and no doubt incredibly insecure about. Fun fact, I wasn't anything at all to this girl except a classmate friend. Very long story short, he tricked me into coming to his house on the disguise that he wanted to apologize, and then he locked me in his basement and threatened to break my fingers with a set of pliers until I confessed that I was doing shit with his girl behind his back. Another fun fact, one of my so-called friends was also there witnessing all this and did nothing while I was terrified out of my mind that this person was gonna break all my fingers or more. Then, by some miracle or whatever, this dick's mother came home and heard yelling coming from their basement. She opened the door and yelled something at her shitbag of a son and he ran upstairs. At this point my friend said, "Get out of here now." And I walked up the steps and out of the house in front of this dick and his unknowing mother and ran home. It wasn't the last time I'd heard from this fuck. He was apparently waiting outside my house a few days later to jump me. That's what the kid that I was friends with told me. A few weeks later, this guy's father died for some medical reason and he suddenly left me alone. After that, he and his mother moved away and is never heard from them again. Rob, if you are still out there and alive, you'll remember me. You stalked me, threatened me, held me against my will, and terrorized me. I'm sorry that your dad died. It should have been you instead. Your horrible insecurity was taken out on a kid that didn't have anything to do with your girlfriend. I caused me a great deal of pain and my single mother a great deal of fear. Rob M, you are prob in your late 40s now. I hope you're a better person, and I hope you have a good life. So maybe, things will go wrong for you. So wrong that it hurts. So wrong that it's fearful. So fearful that you think you'll vomit. Terror-inducing fear, vomit-inducing sickness. I hope you are still alive. Thank you. Next. My all-time happy place is my own room. Not really a confession, but I feel at least someone should know. I love my room. The fact it's so cold so I can always just take a nap when I feel like it, can't sleep when it's hot. Ever since this coronavirus happened and quarantines have started, I've had a good time in here. I can literally relax, do whatever I want. Be under the covers for hours, play PS4 if I want to. It's just the best. I can elaborate a little bit more, just PM. Thank you. Next. I got hired as a sales rep by a vendor that I used to buy from as a construction project manager, and I'm gleefully awaiting the day that my former boss, who hates me, comes in and sees me working there. I used to be a project manager for a custom home builder. I loved it at first, but the company and owner ended up being shady as fuck and I had to get out. And when I say shady, I mean shady. The owner was cooking the books and skimming off the top. The clients were being bait and switched on their finishes and asked to write checks for upgrades that should have been well within the budget for that line item. Various things were blatantly built against code to save money. I could go on. I was repeatedly told to ignore clients calling about issues, or ordered to tell them bald-faced lies about timelines, status of materials, etc. Eventually the owner told me that he was planning on expanding from 1 development to 3, and he wanted to put me in charge of one of them. I told him that was fine, but with the extra responsibility I would need a raise, because I was barely able to pay rent and bills as it was. If he couldn't do it, then he needed to go ahead and start looking for another person so I could train them, because I would need to be out by February before my rent went up in March. I brought this up with him every week for 3 months and never got an answer. When I finally give my notice, everyone stops talking to me. Complete cold shoulder. My immediate boss, the owner's daughter, is going around talking shit about me to clients. I found this out when one of them called me to ask about it, and being extremely nasty on the rare occasion she can't avoid being around me. 4 days into my 2 weeks, I walk out. I was gonna stick around and document my work so my clients don't get screwed, but fuck this bitch. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago. The renovation company that I went to after I left didn't survive COVID, and I had gotten laid off in April. The sales rep I'd bought product from at a particular building material wholesaler while at Shady Construction texts me. We became friends while I was there and had kept in contact, and now they had an opening for a salesperson. I applied and got the job. Today was my first day. When introducing myself to my new co-workers, I mentioned that I had met the friend who recommended me when I was a PM at one of her clients, Shady Construction. Actual responses to this revelation. Oh my god. I hate it when they come in. My former boss is nuts. She has such a bad attitude all the time. They are always trying to nickel and dime everyone. I don't know why we haven't fired them as a client. Glad you got out. Working they had to suck. Former boss is coming in on Wednesday to meet with sales rep friend about an order. I plan on making sure she sees me, probably by sitting in on the meeting. I am new after all. It's in my best interest to shadow my colleagues and get the best training I can get. Kill this bitch with kindness and love every second of it. Thank you. Next. It makes me sad that I always have to reach out first to my friends. I know that I'm not entitled to anyone's time and everyone has their own stuff going on. But it can be frustrating when my friends never reach out to me. I feel like I text them about how they are doing or I suggest hanging out / making plans. Once I start the conversation it's all good and we have a great time when we are together. Sometimes I don't want to text or call them and just see how long it takes them to reach out to me. Thank you. Next. I wish I was born a male, and I will die without telling anyone. I wish I was born a male. No, not because of all the things females have to deal with, but because I feel as if I'm supposed to be a male. If I was a boy, maybe I would feel like I am not in the wrong body. I hate my feminine features, and I wish I had the body of a male. I don't know if I'm transgender, but if I am, I will never talk about it. My mother would disown me, my sister would hate me, I would be alone. So to prevent that, I will keep secret from everyone I love, for the rest of my life. Thank you. Next. Unpopular opinion. Being nice to other people is harder than being not nice. Acting nice is much harder than being not nice. Being nice leads to caring about the other people's feeling and actions while being nice leads to less caring and less emotional problems with other people. I'm saying it because I sometimes wonder why people act the way they do, whether it's being nice or not. I don't necessarily agree with it but it kinda makes sense in a way. If anyone has had a similar thinking please share. Thank you. Next. The theme song to Unsolved Mysteries still sends chills down my spine as a grown adult. Watching the new version of this on Netflix. Haven't heard the theme in decades and immediately the hair stood up on my neck. Powerful theme.